A'ja Wilson is making waves, and it's not just because of her skills on the court. The two-time MVP is stirring up controversy with her comments about Caitlin Clark. Is there drama brewing in the WNBA? Show your support by liking this video, and let's make Caitlin Clark a force to be reckoned with in the WNBA, maybe even bigger than the NBA. Join the conversation about the impact of Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark has been making waves in the WNBA with her incredible performances on the court. She's not just playing basketball, she's redefining what's possible in women's sports. And the numbers speak for themselves. Clark's games consistently draw over 2 million viewers, setting new records and raising the bar for women's sports. In comparison, A'ja Wilson, a two-time MVP, typically attracts around 425,000 viewers. While Wilson's numbers are certainly impressive, they pale in comparison to Clark's massive viewership. It's no wonder that Clark's rising star might be causing some concern for seasoned players like Wilson. The WNBA has just secured an astonishing $260 million per year media deal, marking a significant turning point for the league. Much of the credit for this substantial achievement is being attributed to Caitlin Clark, whose remarkable star power is drawing in fans, garnering attention, and most importantly, bringing in significant financial support to the league. This sudden influx of money and increased viewership is undeniably reshaping the landscape for the WNBA, propelling it into the spotlight in an unprecedented manner. As a result, players are gaining more recognition, sponsors are eagerly lining up, and the future of women's basketball is now shining brighter than ever before. Is all this focus on Clark truly beneficial for everyone in the league? The current situation is quite complex. On one side, Clark's remarkable success is attracting new fans to the WNBA. Thousands of people had never before shown interest in a WNBA game, but are now tuning in to see what all the excitement is about. Once they start watching, they are captivated by the impressive talent and thrill of women's basketball. However, on the flip side, the intense spotlight on one player is causing some tension behind the scenes. Seasoned players like Wilson, who have dedicated years to growing the league, may feel that their efforts are being overshadowed. It's as if Clark's impact has caused a major upheaval in the WNBA, and now everyone is striving to understand what this means for the league's future. Will this sudden surge in popularity last, or is it just a passing trend? And what about the other incredibly talented players in the league? Will they finally get the recognition they deserve, or will Clark's star power outshine them all? These are the burning questions keeping WNBA executives up at night. While they're excited about the spike in viewership and revenue, they also have to navigate the intricate internal dynamics of the league. It's a high-stakes balancing act, and one misstep could throw everything off course. It's interesting to contrast the strong impact Caitlin Clark has had with the apparent effect it has had on A'ja Wilson. One might assume that a seasoned professional like Wilson would take this in stride, but it seems she's feeling the pressure more than ever. Previously, Wilson's games were pulling in about 425,000 viewers, but now, compared to Clark's 2 million, that number suddenly seems inadequate. For a two-time MVP, this must be a hard pill to swallow. It's not just a matter of numbers, it's about gaining recognition and respect for all the hard work put into carrying the league on her shoulders for years. Wilson has been a pivotal figure, contributing to the WNBA's growth and success, but now with all eyes on Clark, it seems that Wilson's significant contributions are being overshadowed. Wilson has been putting in a tremendous amount of effort, only to find herself overshadowed by a newcomer who is receiving all the praise. It's more than just aggravating, it's draining. Wilson has expressed her mental exhaustion from being constantly compared to Clark, and it's completely understandable. Can you imagine being scrutinized at every turn compared to the new shining star? It's enough to wear anyone down. However, Wilson isn't just passively accepting this treatment, she's fighting back with determination. She said, "You may underestimate me because I'm a woman, but I can hold my own and excel in the post. It's not just my duty, it's my passion." Have you caught that? Wilson is not only standing up for her style of play, she is making a powerful statement. She affirms her identity as a strong and competitive athlete who has rightfully earned her place in the league. This isn't just about Wilson's rivalry with Clark, it's a clash between the established veterans and the emerging new talents. It's about the experienced players feeling overlooked in favor of the latest prospects, and this unease permeates the league. Put yourself in the shoes of a WNBA player with years of dedication to the game. How would you react to all the attention being drawn to a rookie? You might start questioning if your time in the limelight is closing. It's not just about jealousy or hurt feelings, it's about job security, it's about legacy. These players have dedicated their lives to building this league, and now they're worried they might be forgotten. Now that we've seen the tension building between Aja Wilson and Caitlin Clark, it's time to address the elephant in the room: race. You might be thinking, wait, what does race have to do with this? Well, it turns out a lot more than you might think. Aja Wilson hasn't been shy about speaking up on this issue. She pointed out that race plays a big role in how players are perceived and treated in the WNBA, and you know what? She's got a point. Think about it. Who gets the most media attention in women's basketball? Who's plastered all over billboards and commercials? More often than not, it's the white players who become the face of the sport. Sound familiar? This isn't just about hurt feelings or jealousy, it's about representation and opportunity. When certain players get more attention, fans, and ultimately more power in shaping the future of the sport, you might be wondering, is this a big deal? Isn't talent what matters most? Of course, talent is crucial, but in professional sports, talent alone isn't always enough to make you a superstar. Let's look at the numbers. Caitlin Clark's games are pulling in over 2 million viewers. That's incredible, but it also raises some questions. Are these new fans tuning in because of Clark's undeniable skill, or is something else at play? This is where things get complicated. It's not just about individual players, it's about the narratives we create around sports and athletes. Who do we choose to celebrate? Whose story do we tell? And most importantly, why? These aren't easy questions to answer. They touch on deep-rooted societal issues beyond basketball, but they are questions we need to ask if we want to understand what's happening in the WNBA right now. Now, it's important to note that this isn't about pitting players against each other. Both Wilson and Clark are phenomenal athletes who deserve recognition. The issue is bigger than any individual player. It's about the systems and structures that decide which athletes become household names and which don't. It's about the unconscious biases that shape our perceptions of who can be a sports hero. You might be thinking, but isn't the increased attention good for the league? And you'd be right. The WNBA is getting more viewers, more sponsorships, and more media coverage than ever before. That's a positive. But here's the catch. If this growth comes at the cost of sidelining or undervaluing players of color, is it progress, or are we just reinforcing the same old problems in a new package? This situation with Wilson and Clark brings these issues to the surface in a way we've never seen before. It's forcing us to confront some uncomfortable truths about race, representation, and recognition in women's sports. And you know what? That might not be such a bad thing. Sometimes you need a little tension to spark real change. This could be the catalyst that pushes the WNBA to address these issues head on. But let's be clear, this isn't just a WNBA problem, it's a reflection of broader issues in our society. How we talk about and promote athletes of different races impacts far more than just basketball. So what does all this mean for the future of the WNBA? We're at a crossroads and the path forward isn't clear. The league's facing a challenge it's never seen before: how to celebrate new stars like Caitlin Clark while still honoring veterans like Aja Wilson. The WNBA has experienced a significant boost in attention this season, largely thanks to standout performances from players like Indiana Fever rookie Caitlin Clark. This heightened interest comes as the NBA's Board of Governors recently approved a lucrative new media rights deal, set to span 11 years and valued at nearly $76 billion. Of this, $2.2 billion is allocated to the WNBA, which is poised to impact player salaries significantly in the coming years. The new media deal will triple the value of the league's media rights, bringing in about $200 million annually. This increase addresses a long-standing issue in the league, where players have often supplemented their income by playing overseas. Currently, the highest base salary in the WNBA is $242,000, but this new deal could substantially increase these figures, especially for top players like Clark. Players like Caitlin Clark are at the forefront of this newfound attention. Her star power drives record viewership numbers, such as the 2.3 million viewers who tuned into her WNBA debut against the Phoenix Mercury in May. This spike in interest has not only elevated the profile of women's basketball, but also sparked a debate about the league's future direction. In response to Clark's impact and the financial windfall from the new media deal, the WNBA is considering expanding from 12 to 16 teams, with potential new teams in cities like Nashville, Toronto, Portland, and the Bay Area. The league's collective bargaining agreement will also be a focal point for negotiations, particularly regarding player salary increases. This is where things get interesting. Historically, WNBA salaries have been significantly lower than those in the NBA. For example, Aja Wilson, a two-time MVP MVP and current face of the Las Vegas Aces, earns a base salary of $202,000. In contrast, the average NBA salary is around $10 million, with star players like Stephen Curry earning over $50 million annually. As the league prepares for its new financial era, the tension between veteran players like Aja Wilson and rising stars like Caitlin Clark becomes more evident. While Clark's star power has undoubtedly brought more attention and revenue to the league, it also highlights the disparities in how players are compensated and marketed. Aja Wilson has been vocal about these issues, particularly regarding the racial dynamics in the WNBA. As a prominent black athlete in a league where white players often receive more media attention, Wilson's concerns are emblematic of a broader conversation about equity in sports. With the new media deal on the horizon, Wilson and other players are pushing for changes that reflect their contributions to the league and address the disparities that have long existed. So where do we go from here? The WNBA is at a pivotal moment with opportunities for growth and change like never before. The league's response to these challenges will shape the future of women's basketball and impact the broader sports landscape. For players like Aja Wilson and Caitlin Clark, the stakes have never been higher. The Caitlin Clark effect is undeniable, but how the WNBA navigates this new era will determine whether the league can truly capitalize on this moment of opportunity or if it will fall back into the same old patterns of inequity and marginalization. The question now is, how will the league respond? Will they use this moment to address long-standing issues of race and representation, or will they continue to promote a select few at the expense of others? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, the WNBA is on the brink of a new era, and the choices made now will define its future for years to come. So let's stay tuned, support our players, and keep pushing for the change we want to see. It's a new era in women's basketball, and the WNBA is at the center. Caitlin Clark has undeniably changed the game, but as we move forward, we must ensure that every player gets the recognition they deserve. If you agree it's time for change, like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more insights and updates on the WNBA and women's sports. Let's continue this conversation in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Caitlin Clark effect and what it means for the league's future.